following program is sponsored by PokerStars.net. This week on the big game, our loose cannon came all the way from Rome.
We gotta defend the Italy honor.
Yeah.
And made a huge call against Phil Hellmuth.
9-10.
Don't underestimate Italians.
It's better if he underestimate.
That caught the attention of the rest of the table.
It's too strong.
Wow, this is the most aggressive loose cannon I've ever seen.
And left them with more questions
We're trying to figure out if he's a genius or a dumb.
than answers.
And it's leaning towards genius right now, you know?
Find out if Max continues his mind games,
Nice fold, nice fold.
I'm trickling chips off to him.
or can these all-stars figure out this Italian's secrets?
Is that where you Italians train in the catacombs?
It all happens tonight on the big game.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
This is the PokerStars.net Big Game.
Welcome to the biggest game in Las Vegas with Joe Stapleton. I'm Scott Huff, and tonight, some of the most recognizable names in poker continue to battle it out for the more than $750,000 on the table in our one-of-a-kind poker room.
Bill Perkins has been playing loose as a goose, which explains why he's so down into the game for 180 and stuck almost 140.
Phil Locke is usually a dominant force on the big game. Right now, he's struggling to gain any traction. He's down almost 2K.
Bienvenue, Elke, the most profitable pro so far this week. The Frenchman schooling both Italians and Americans alike. He's up 39.5.
Phil Hellmuth tried a big bluff against our cannon earlier this week, and he's still trying to recover. He's stuck almost 18K.
Massimiliano Martinez is this week's loose cannon. The 24-year-old economics student came all the way from Rome, Italy, and will use some of his winnings to renovate his home. Max can start looking for a contractor because he's up 82.7.
Our final player is also Italian, Dario Minieri. It's his big game debut, and so far he's happy to be invited. He's up almost 35,000. Right now, he's with Amanda Leatherman.
Dario, how's your experience on the big game so far?
I think it's, of course, a tough game. I think there's need of luck as well.
Right.
I'm not worried because this is a game, but that would be nice to win.
What do you think of the loose cannon's play so far?
I think he's very good. I said to the start, I think he's a very good player, and everyone could make the mistake to undervalue him. And that would be wrong because he's a very good player.
Because he's Italian.
Because he's Italian, yeah, that's why everyone undervalues us, yeah.
All right, Dario, good luck.
Thank you very much.
The loose cannon is staked $100,000 to play. He keeps all money above the initial 100K. And the loose cannon, who's won the most money at season's end, earns a North American Poker Tour passport worth $50,000.
Gonzalez Cannon is currently the leader for that NAPT passport at over $155,000 in profit.
Gonzalez Cannon.
Maybe this will be the 30 hands where I actually get some cards.
Is the fact that the Vatican is nestled in there, in the middle of Rome, in the middle of Italy, is there a correlation between that and your training? Is there, like, is it something that goes back to the guild or something from the very beginning?
What? All week long, Phil has hypothesized that our loose cannon is too good to be a normal human. He's accused him of being a vampire, a Highlander, a zombie, a virus, and now possibly an Illuminati.
12.
Poker Brat raises it up with King Queen.
Speaking of people not of this earth,
Dario folded, and it's over to Elke, who's also out.
Oh, sorry.
Max just did that with mind control.
Locke is out too. Ace Queen for the businessman.
Perkins' VPIP has been through the roof all week, and this is the first time I remember him with a legit hand.
And he's just going to call.
He's got Phil dominated.
Queen 5 for the cannon. Folds.
Perkins and Hellmuth had a bit of a rivalry in Season 1. So far this week, they haven't tangled.
10-5 jack, couple of spades. Phil with an up and down straight draw. Bill with a gut shot, and he checks it.
Perkins does have the best hand with ace queen high.
But Phil fires 1,400 on the come.
That's not a dirty phrase. It means semi-bluff.
Perkins calls.
Snap called me? At least pretend you have nothing.
8 of hearts on the turn.
I check.
Perkins has picked up a double gutter now.
Well, let me see if I can get a bluff through here. Let me think.
The old double reverse honesty move. Old Faithful.
All right, I check.
And Hellmuth checks.
Who knows who's zooming who here?
River, 8 of diamonds, pairs the board.
I'll check.
Bill checks.
Check.
Phil checks.
Ace queen.
These two are just slap fighting each other in that one. Where's the rest of the money, guys?
Oh,
Wow.
cute flop.
Very cute flop. The king comes, I don't know what happens.
You probably bet too much, but
Yeah, you're right.
you've done that to me before where you just get excited and make a big bet.
Yeah.
But if you bet the right amount, you get called.
The more you know.
So the best hand holds up for Perkins as we take a look at the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit, then no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player begins with at least $100,000 but can rebuy for up to $500K.
No one's ever rebought for $500K, but I'm really pulling for Bill Perkins.
Perkins is straddled. 6 deuce for the cannon, folds. Helmuth with king 7, raises to 3,000.
Phil just lost the pot, so he's coming in and raising.
Dario's out. Elke folds, exposes a card. Phil Lock with 7 tray, lets it go. Perkins calls.
Of course you call.
Of course. I'm
But I
stuck.
know you won't defend with 3-5, so
You got one hand out. You can eliminate one hand out.
I can eliminate any 5 high from the equation.
Heads up again between these two to the flop. 8, 10, 7 rainbow. Phil with bottom pair.
Big whiff for Perkins.
And he checks.
All right.
Helmuth checks his pair. 5 of clubs on the turn.
No help to anyone.
Check.
Perkins checks.
I bet 4,500.
And Helmuth's going to bet 4,500.
You win.
Perkins lets it go.
You know,
Queen of clubs exposed.
I should have bet the flop. I don't know what I was thinking there.
Me neither.
I hit something, but I don't know why I checked there.
Joe, looks like Phil's taking advantage of Perkins' loose play right now.
Perkins is called pre-flop raises an absurd 67% of the time. Seems Helmuth is trying to play pots with the businessman, knowing that as long as Bill doesn't connect, there's probably a good chance of winning the pot.
Well, Perkins is staring at a $134,000 deficit, but you know what would be a more interesting stat, Joe? Bill Perkins has brought 3 female assistants to the big game. How many of them have you struck out with?
My percentage would be right around 100.
Speaking of ladies, pocket queens for Phil Helmuth. Min raises. Minieri's out. Elke with 6-5.
I have the button. I shouldn't even look. I should just decide I'm gonna win. Oh, I don't have to decide I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna win.
Lock calls.
I'm just gonna win this one.
Phil does tend to run pretty good on the big game.
Pocket kings for the businessman.
I bet the pot.
Bill Perkins comes in with the pot.
Little pottage.
Pottage in the cottage.
Pottage.
In the cottage.
Perkins has raised it up to 4,200. Cannon out of the way.
Phil Helmuth could be in some real trouble here.
How much do you have there anyway?
What is it?
Nothing.
You keep saying not much, and this is a 25K chip, kid.
Nothing. I don't know. They're coming to take me away. Or how?
40.
These two are on a collision course.
All right, I raised the pot too.
Hi-ya.
I think Phil min raised, hoping for this opportunity. Whoops.
I actually believe now. I believe.
Lock folds to Helmuth's raise to 14,400, and the action's back on Perkins.
What are my choices?
Ship it, call, or fold.
I re-raised the pot.
All right, I'm all in. I'm all in.
It's all in. Okay. Aces or?
I got queens.
I have kings.
Holy cow.
Poor Phil Helmuth.
Your choice.
I mean, let's just run it once, I guess.
Go.
They're going to run it once.
I decided in advance I'm only going to run it once today.
You know what? Poker should get back to this one-time thing. It's so manly. It's like the West. We're going to go find gold and go into the West and run it one time.
That one almost actually kind of made sense. His meds must be kicking in.
So Bill Perkins all in and in a great position to double up. Flop. 6-5-8, all hearts.
Oh, and Phil Lock would have flopped a straight with a straight flush redraw. Hi-ya!
Perkins way in the lead.
No more outs on the flop and only backdoor chop possibilities. Things are looking bad for Phil.
Turn. Ace of diamonds.
Phil now looking for a queen and only a queen, else he's going to double up Bill Perkins and be left with a teensy-weensy stack himself.
To the river. 10 of clubs, and Perkins is going to double up.
Nice hand.
Thank you.
Perkins seems kind of reserved, being that he just doubled up, no?
Ta-da! I finally won a hand. I got like a couple more of those before I'm back in the game.
You're unstuck, I think. Or
No, I'm super stuck. I'm still
you're
on tilt.
stuck less than 15?
I have less tilt juice in my system.
The tilt juice has been wrung out, huh?
I had maximum tilt juice. It was like overdrive.
I mean, the businessman, you know, he shows up with kings when he has 43,000. Come on.
You know, and I
So ridiculous what happens to me in this game.
Can't deny that. Also can't deny that it makes great TV.
More great TV coming up right after this.
It'd be nice to just hit some cards. It'd be nice to just, you know, maybe when I had the queens and he had the kings, if I would have hit a queen, that would have made up for some of the bad luck I've had. When I get unlucky in a lot of hands, it gets old.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. When Phil said it gets old, was he talking about running bad or listening to him afterwards? Because let me tell you, it never gets old.
So, what other countries have you visited, Max?
What?
What other countries have you visited?
China, two
You been
times.
to China? China twice? Why?
China.
What are you doing there?
Because my uncle is the ambassador.
Ah.
Was.
Do you speak Chinese at all?
No.
Chinese mountain.
Where's it?
In China, you know.
Shanghai or
It's like the shouting monks.
Where's the embassy in Shanghai? Beijing?
Yeah, in Beijing. Yeah.
Beijing?
Yeah.
Dario,
And I did like this
we
NBC
found the
package
secret
thing.
location
They
where he
do
was
flight
training.
system.
He was training with the
It was unbelievable.
Shaolin monks in Beijing. I didn't know. Now we got it. Elke figured it out. Elke figured it out where he's been training.
Joining Amanda on the couch this week is Italian poker pro Luca Pagano.
Not the catacombs. It was with the Shaolin monks in Beijing.
Abacus.
That's where it was. He just let it out. China, twice, this, that. Elke figured it out. Elke solved it. Yep.
In the monasteries, they ask, what is the sound of one hand folding?
Perkins raised to 900 in the cannon, folds.
Chinese influence. That's why he's so hard to beat.
2,300.
Stop.
How many three raises to 2,300 with King Queen?
Right.
I don't even.
You can give me some money back.
Fine. Because you wanted the money back here. Fine.
Perkins makes the call.
Battle.
You didn't lose yet.
Remember what I said earlier about these two not tangling?
Like a flop where
I take it back.
Flop, 8-8 jack.
Helmuth has the pre-flop lead.
5,000.
He keeps it, bets 5K.
Can't get in trouble with that flop.
Perkins folds.
You got the money back, see? Gonna show one card?
Well, 2,300 I got.
So Phil gets a little revenge against Perkins, but he's probably looking for a lot more, especially considering last season's confrontation with the businessman.
But Phil's a great player. I like him. I like ribbing him. The only edge is to get him thinking emotionally and not mathematically, and I used that to my advantage last time.
What is going on here?
Would you have beaten this, Phil? Maybe?
Businessman's running lucky, huh?
Business. Donkeys get lucky. I'm telling you, you gotta be careful.
Okay, Phil, tell me what you remember about Bill Perkins.
Don't really remember much about him.
He hate me.
This she's running so good.
Bullets were flying.
We played once, I think. I think you're gonna lose 100, but I think you're gonna spread it around to these guys. I hope I can get some of it.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence, Mr. Cocky.
I honestly don't remember. Did he try to get to me last time? I'm just speaking the truth, man.
No, you're speaking your opinion, man. Just because you're married to a woman for 20 years doesn't mean that I'm gonna tolerate you.
Let's keep it friendly, boys. I don't want to have to break up a fight.
I guess I remember it vaguely. Classy guy, buddy. You are.
Why? What did I do?
Why would you say that? You want to just step on me?
He's a school teacher. For God's sakes, man.
Screaming will do you a lot of good. Don't know what to say?
To many people, I was the hero. When you have a big personality like mine on the set with him, sparks are bound to fly. Relax, buddy. You may be able to push other people around, but not me.
I mean, I feel like if I'm stupid enough to give it back to him, then I've made a mistake. Because you don't fight with a fly. You shoo a fly away.
It's good-natured ribbon. I don't like it to get too far across the line. We're all here to play cards, not go to war. In his mind, in my mind, and probably in a lot of the fans' mind, it's round 2.
You might think Phil's pretending to not remember Bill Perkins. Trust me, he's not. He still calls me buddy every time he sees me.
Who's this guy at the table straddling?
That's Bill Perkins, Scott.
Oh, right, the businessman. Suited one gapper for the cannon. Chucks it. King Queen for Hellmuth.
26.
Raises to 2,600. Minieri out. Elke with Queen 6. Folds.
Phil Hellmuth typically opens a lot of pots in this show, and he's been opening a lot this week, only he's been clowning around far less.
9 tray of spades for Phil Locke.
This would be a very odd call out of position for Phil Locke.
But he does call.
Thank you.
Perkins obviously likes his pot odds.
I DDG.
Calls 1,800 with the 7 tray.
Not as odd a call for Perkins.
Well, it's a scoreboard situation. I have 2K profit right now, should I fold. So sometimes you play the stack.
Fold or play the huge side. That's true.
To the flop, 10 ace jack rainbow. Phil has flopped the stone cold nuts.
And everyone else has stone cold nothing. Even when Phil runs good, he runs bad.
Lock checks. Some guy checks.
Phil probably isn't going to get much action.
Helmut should bet 2,100. Haha, he's got it. He did it. He's ruined the whole thing. He is a genius.
Does bet 2,100.
That's why he can hang with the Shaolin monks that, disguise themselves as Italians, He can do it.
Kung Fu Panda down there. Kung Fu Max.
God damn, what the f?
Shove bluff, you're my idol.
Don't worry about it, Phil. On that hand, if I'm putting money in the flop, holy cow.
Check it.
Helmut, if I put money in it with you, trust me, right in that moment, I was going to have some.
Yeah, I believe you. Like ace jack. That would be all right.
Wow, how did he flop the nuts?
Nizzles.
Wow, I'm so glad I didn't make a move on Helmut right then.
Locke, Phil H. That's Phil Locke. Remember him from poker?
More big game coming up right after this. Welcome back to the big game where we've reached hand 73 of the 150 to be played this week. Action will start on Phil Hellmuth.
Here's what you do, cold call. No.
I don't trust you. What I do is I trust my instincts.
Folds.
I call with
And then,
anything.
the hand.
Dario. King 10 offsuit.
Haven't heard from Dario in a little while.
Pumps it up to 1,100. A suited ace for Elke.
I want a thumb ring like Dario.
Elke calls.
What?
A thumb ring like Dario.
Lock folds. Action on Perkins. And he calls. Ace deuce for the cannon.
Probably an easy defend with those pot odds.
And it is.
Not Elke, not yet, but I'm waiting for him to go off loose. Dario's been popped me like 4 or 5 times, so.
4-way action to the flop. 3, 5, 9, all clubs.
All right, everybody, club check.
Perkins checks.
Bottom pair, no club. Max has ace high, worst club.
And checks.
Dario's got the second nut flush draw and the pre-flop betting lead.
And checks it as well.
Elke's got ace high with a wheel draw, but also no club.
And it's going to check around. We'll see a turn. Jack of diamonds.
Perkins perks up. Now with top and bottom, no one with the betting lead at the moment.
He fires out 2,600 with 2 pair. Action over to our loose cannon.
Italians are famous for their cooking, and it looks like Max is cooking up something here.
Looks like he's cooking up a raise, possibly. That's a lot of chips. Makes it 11,600.
With nothing but ace high and a gut shot, that's some machismo.
Dario out.
Tough to call there with a bet and a raise in front of you.
How much do I have to put in?
And Elke gives up his gut shot. Perkins makes the call easily.
Quick call from Perkins. Frustration call or soul read. You be the judge.
Queen of diamonds on the river. A straight now possible as well. Perkins checks.
Perkins still with the best hand. Dario's king 10 would have gotten there. Max knows he can't win this pot by checking. And Perkins is still checking.
All right, he's done. Max, your action. And a lot of action. Bets 23,100.
On a stone bluff, and this cannon is cannoning. Now for Bill Perkins with 2 pair, it's not the hardest call in the world, but it's not the easiest either.
I give him Phil's money.
That sounds like a call.
Here's Phil's money.
Flush?
And it is.
Nice one.
Oops.
Where's that?
Ace high.
Perkins was so sure he lost.
And Perkins is going to drag a pot worth almost 75K.
Bill Perkins. Nuclear Bill.
I just got some 2 gonads and some tilt juice in
Are
it.
you telling me we were supposed to be calling him all these other times? Are you the first one to have the courage to look him up?
I got tilt juice in me. You
Now
makes
I'm
you,
wondering
makes
about
you
some
strong.
of my folds.
You think?
Tilt juice make you strong.
I prefer sugar-free tilt juice. I'm trying to watch the carbs.
So Bill Perkins rakes a healthy pot there and goes from negative to slightly less negative. Meanwhile, our loose cannon, Massimiliano Martinez, was up 92K after just 7 hands. Now after 73 hands, up only 43,000.
Let's see if that picked-off bluff slows Max down at all.
Elke folds. Phil Laak suited 8-7. Min raise. Bill Perkins, slightly less tilt juice with the 8-5. Makes the call.
Hello, Phil.
Pierce Perkins has brought an entire styrofoam cooler of tilt juice, has been tailgating with it on the breaks.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Action folded around and Minieri made the call. 3-way action to the flop. 8, ace 5, 2 spades. Perkins with 2 pair again.
No tells on this guy whatsoever.
Minieri checks his pair.
Locke's got middle pair, but he's reverse dominated to Perkins.
He checks it and Perkins fires out 2,000. Dario's out.
It's like he's making it rain, you know? It's like raining chips.
Make it rain.
Make it rain.
Back on lock.
Shouldn't call the guy who makes it
You
rain.
want me to play this hand with you?
I don't know. You're such a donkey. I'm a little afraid.
Be quiet, Bill.
I'm always afraid of you.
Don't want to chase off the fishy.
It's like, I want to if you miss.
Oh, my God. Shh.
I don't know. I'm just playing too technical. All those spades.
And lock folds.
I don't have spades.
No, but I don't like the spades. And
I don't have a single spade. You want your cards back?
You do have spades.
I have 2 pair. I have 8-5.
He shows.
8-5?
Yeah, I have 8-5. No, unsuited. Come on. I told you, he's in hand.
2 in a row for Perkins.
funny, I don't remember what I had.
Phil with the senior moment.
It was something like, it was maybe something like 7-8 of diamonds. I don't know what it was.
Welcome back to the big game where despite bleeding some chips, Massimiliano Martinez tops the chart at over 44K. And look at Phil Laak, he's even Steven for the week.
Although Max is down for the night, he still has a profit. And remember, if the cannon finishes positive after 150 hands, he keeps anything over that initial $100,000.
All right, Joe, the loose cannon's traveled all the way from Rome. It doesn't seem to be phased at all by the time difference so far.
I know. Who brought the ringer? Massimiliano's been playing molto aggressivo. Mwah! Pre-flop, his 12% 3-bet percentage is not only second at this table, but it's also one of the highest ever by a loose cannon. And despite ranking 5th, Max's VPIP of 31 is a fairly active number as well. Post-flop, he's continued that aggressive approach with a 1.9 aggro factor and done most of his damage at Showdown, banking 195K already, which is well over 10 billion lira.
So Max is really putting destiny into his own hands by taking the action to the pros.
Did you say action, Scott? Because you can't say action without referring to the businessman, Bill Perkins. You literally can't. It's in your contract. While this has been a very loose table with both the Phils playing half the pots, they're all being dwarfed by Perkins at a towering 73% VPIP. The last time this guy folded pre-flop was on a misdeal. And good luck getting this action junkie to fold to a raised pre-flop. He's stationing a staggering 69% of the time. Also, Bill's seen 64% of flops to this point, a third more than the next closest player as his statistical skyline continues to grow. In this case, aggression not a good thing for Perkins as he's donated over 60K. What a generous guy.
And what do you think about our other Italian at the table, Dario Minieri?
Super Dario is absolutely mashing this table pre-flop like a giant mushroom. His 3-bet percentage of 22 is really putting his opponents to the test early. And Minieri's maintained that aggression factor after the flop as well, leading the table with a 3.0, all adding up to a nice 28K profit so far.
Well, let's see if one of these Roman gladiators eventually gets the thumbs up or the thumbs down.
Are you not entertained?
Sure thing, Maximus.
Oh my God, wait a minute. 1, 20, 30, 40. I'm even. I'm exactly even. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I double checked. Even.
Has anybody seen anybody celebrate mediocrity more than him?
I'm pretty okay with it.
Are you so proud of being mediocre?
How is even being mediocre? Mediocre.
I'm even.
How is that being mediocre? That is amazing. I'm here with a Shaolin monk, 11-time bracelet winner, a telepath, a guy who's won 10 million in poker, and you have position on me. You play every hand.
Well, I guess when you put it that way. All right, now quit waiting for the awards ceremony and get back in there.
Our dealer, Marcus, will get us started here, and Perkins is straddled. So the action will be on the cannon with 9 deuce suited. Let's it go. Helmuth, king 4 suited.
Wow. Can I really just limp?
Probably shouldn't.
But he does. Minieri folds. Action on Elke with queen 6 of diamonds.
Well, he's priced in.
And he completes. Action on Phil Laak with 7-5.
These limp pots are going to get a lot of hands in there that might not otherwise call.
All right, they dragged me in.
And Laak calls.
I'm trying to get unstuck, yeah. I know I'm stuck.
Check it up.
One check's fine, sir.
4-way action of the flop. Ace 9-10 rainbow. Whole lot of whiffing going on.
Everyone missed this flop harder than when Greedo fired the first shot.
Elke checks.
Elke has queen high and some backdoor draws.
Checks around to Hellmuth.
Phil, stay with us. Come on.
Check.
Hellmuth checks.
Although he does have the best hand.
5 of hearts on the turn. Laak makes a pair. Phil Hellmuth with a flush draw. Elke checks. And Laak bets 400.
400 big ones. Aggression.
Perkins raises to 2,200 with his gut shot.
Hellmuth's picked up the second nut flush draw, and we know his king is still alive.
You have me covered again, right?
Possibly. All right, I'll let you, the dealer.
That's good, that's good.
Well, I would guess Phil's not folding.
8,000.
He re-raises to 8,000. And Elke will let it go.
Laak still has the best hand, though not a strong one, and he was just raised twice.
Phil Hellmuth, 8,000, he says. I hate giving anybody money like this.
The 400 you just put out there?
And Laak folds.
I fold. Can I see the last card?
Hellmuth takes it
I
down.
want to see the last card, too.
I say don't show it.
Rabbit hunt denied.
Hellmuth doesn't, can't. Hellmuth can
Show
say
the last
no.
card.
What if like Ace Hearts comes out?
I'd be so steamed because...
Everyone gets their money back.
No, for another reason.
Already.
I would have made quads and you guys would have, you know, and someone would have made a flush and now I'm steamed up, you know?
Oh, right. Sure, Phil. You would have made quads. Okay.
Yeah, he was just 2 aces in his hand and then an ace on the river away from making quads. That's close.
So close.
Action will start here on the poker fibber. Jack 9 of hearts. Another min raise from this table. Minieri's out. 9-7 for Elke. Lets it go.
Hellmuth wants a lot of action, I guess.
7-4 suited for Laak. He's in, and Perkins quickly in with the 6-5.
Oh, sir. I figured you'd be in there.
Queen 8 of clubs for Massimiliano Martinez, our cannon. Makes the call.
Back in the old days, he just potted it there, and you know,
He just pops it, right?
Cannon would be.
you might fold, I might call, he might call or fold, and then he just bets 75% pot and wins it. You know.
Yeah.
I love stories about the old days. It was a different time then. If you 5-bet with anything other than aces, it was considered an angle shoot.
Deuce 4-5 on the flop.
He'd be like, boom.
Perkins checks his top pair and gut shot.
Max with just queen high.
Checks it,
Hellmuth with just jack high.
and he checks.
Laak's got middle pair and some backdoor draws.
Checks it.
Phil checked, really?
To the turn. Ace of diamonds.
Despite the potential scare car, Perkins still has the best hand.
I didn't expect that out of you.
Bets 3K. Martinez is out, as is Phil.
I wish I had a pair. I wish I had a 3. And I really wish I had a 3-6, because if you had a 3 and I had a 3-6, it would be Shipola.
Shipola.
Oh.
But how do you know I don't have 3-6?
And Perkins shows his 6 with Phil still to act.
Perkins doesn't know it, but he wants a call.
Oh, gave you a card, you even called.
It's possible?
Almost got him to
That's
call.
a nice roll.
Perkins wins.
I like that.
It's possible to show one card, right?
Yeah, you can show whatever you want.
Pulling wings off flies. And this is the guy I want to do business with. That's why I love him. Because he's hungry. You know, I got to love the hunger. I love your hunger, sir.
I love it. He showed the 6 of diamonds. Now we have to call him.
This is a move you won't find in many poker books. It's called Keep the Rich Fish Having a Good Time.
You would call me?
That, yeah. What can you have?
The Perkins Revival Tour continues. Back after this.
And I've crossed over the even watermark so many times that it's almost like, I feel like a boat just in a bay, just trying to just stabilize. And I'm not going out to sea, I'm not going into drinking the tavern, I'm just in the bay, you know? That's what it feels like.
I think the boat metaphor finally explains that knit hat he was wearing. Phil must be on leave from his day job on Deadliest Catch.
And he's stuck almost $4,000. Remember, there's more behind-the-scenes action as well as bonus hands and stats on the website.
It feels a little calm right now. Like people lurking, waiting for big hands. They're squeezing.
8 deuce for Perkins.
Oh my God, thank goodness.
Folds.
Bill Perkins just folded pre-flop. Sound the alarm.
Martinez with king 8 lets it go. Jack 10 of diamonds for Phil Hellmuth, and he'll limp.
Jack 10 suited's a great multi-way hand, but he could still probably raise and not chase away much action and play a bigger pot if it hits.
Big slick for Dario.
14.
Raises to 1,400. Elke out. And locked with Presto makes the call.
Well, now that Hellmuth's nutted for diamonds, maybe it's better to play a smaller pot.
And he calls.
So I feel like I'm directing traffic.
Well, it does involve several streets.
To the flop, 10 ace jack 2 clubs. Phil with 2 pair, Dario with top pair and a gut shot.
Too bad we couldn't get a 5 in there.
I am first stacked, right? Yep, I check.
Block checks. And Hellmuth checks.
Checks to the razor. No reason for Dario to play top pair slow here. This could get juicy.
And Minieri bets 3,100.
I think I'm folding, boys. Just double check it, and yes, I'm folding.
And Lock lets it go. Hellmuth double checks, still 2 pair.
I can't fold yet.
Makes the call.
Phil maybe wanting to control this pot with all those draws out there.
I check.
And he dark checks. 7 of diamonds on the turn.
Doesn't change anything.
And Phil has already checked, so the action's on Dario.
Dario's still likely to think he has the best hand. It's a super wet board, and Phil could easily still be drawing.
64.
That's 6,400.
Oh, let me think for a minute here.
Hollywood.
The Bill Perkins School of Tells.
All right, I call.
Makes the call.
The mini speech might have been a giveaway.
To the river. 6 of hearts.
About as big a brick as you could expect. Hellmuth's got it locked up unless Dario finds some way to blow him off his hand.
You know what? Let me take a little crack at this pot.
Yeah, just take a little bet here.
9,000.
My hand's probably no good, but whatevs.
That's 9K.
Speech aside, that's a pretty good bet. Can maybe look like a misdraw. Dario can't really like it.
He calls.
10s and jacks.
Good.
And Hellmuth takes it down.
Can't believe that didn't get bleeped. In Italy, clearing your throat's an insult.
Oh my God, I need to go back to school. Did they teach you what's going on in that hand in China? Because I didn't know that was what was happening.
So Phil takes down the pot, and he continues to crawl his way out of a deep hole he dug with a bluff earlier in the session. He's down almost 16K.
It was confusing, right?
You guys play some kung fu that I've not seen before.
You might have had like ace-9 suited. That's about as weak as it could have been.
Personally, I think Dario folds ace-9 in that spot. That's just me.
Ace-9, I'm going with ace-9.
Apparently, they also have the "if you don't have anything nice to say" phrase in Italy as well.
Action on Hellmuth with Jack 9. Limps.
Besides, Dario would never play a hand as bad as ace-9. All right, never mind.
Ace-8 of spades for Dario. Raises to 1,500.
Elke's been pretty quiet this session.
Big slick.
He's about to get louder.
Makes it 4,400.
Well, I was trying to direct traffic again.
Yeah, you're true. That's what you were talking about earlier.
Jack suited limp. You know you can call one raise with it, Phil, but you don't want to call a double. Not saying I have it this time.
Locking Perkins out. Cannon out. And Phil lets it go.
Dario's out of position with a weak ace, and Elke hasn't really been getting out of line today.
Minieri makes the call.
Very loose call. Also, Lock folded an ace. Elke always looks like he's trying to solve a mystery.
So their heads up to the flop. 5 deuce deuce 2 spades. Minieri comes from way behind here to almost a coin flip with his flush draw.
Despite the loose call pre-flop, that's a great flop for Dario, one he probably won't be afraid to get some money in with.
Checks it to Elke.
Elke does have the best hand, and a c-bet would typically win him this pot.
And he does fire the c-bet, 6,600.
Obviously, Dario can't fold, but he might not want to get a ton of money in just yet.
And he does just call.
Elke's been playing pretty solid, so Dario maybe wants to control the pot a bit with just a draw and a weak ace high.
Turn, Queen of Hearts.
Affects neither player's hand and doesn't affect the board texture either.
Ranieri checks.
Sure, Dario would be happy to take a free card here.
And Poirot hasn't quite figured it out. Checks around. Tray of diamonds on the end.
Big miss for everybody.
Elke's still best.
Looks like Super Dario is going to try to rep a hand anyways.
Super Dario fires a big shell on the end, 16-6.
Not many draws came in, so there's a ton of missed draws in Dario's range, but the problem is Dario could easily value bet any pair knowing Elke might look him up with ace high.
And Elke lets it go.
The play was Seek, so Seek.
Dario drags a pot worth a little over 40,000.
Nice hand, Dario.
Thank you.
You had it?
What about you?
Me? Nice hand too.
Nice hand?
But not a nice board.
When Elke played StarCraft, he never complained about a bad board, ever. Step up. Welcome back to the big game where Italy's Massimiliano Martinez has seen his profit cut nearly in half to 46 and change.
Max was up 92K earlier in the session, posed a real threat to Gonzo for the passport. Now, not so much.
You have ace queen, ace 9, ace 8, any ace suited that didn't two pair.
But
You
I can't
pay me
check
off.
raise you on the river. How much are you going to bet on the river?
I'm agree. You can check call.
Dario folds.
But you might only bet 7,000.
My bet is bigger than what you think.
Elke raises.
Because I bet what I would bet on a bluff. I shouldn't give you this information.
That's true.
Okay, guys, now just let it go.
Lock calls 1,300 with the 10-8. Perkins, King-Jack calls. The cannon with the 9-7.
He's thinking about it. He's got some decent immediate odds if he wants to get in there, splash around.
Splash he will. Phil Hellmuth, King-10, suited, makes the call.
Alrighty then.
Oh, poor little Dario's the runt of the family pot. Bambino.
Just 5-way action this time. Tray 9-4, a couple of hearts, cannon with top pair. And checks it. Hellmuth checks.
Elke's got middle pair and was the original raiser.
Keeps the lead, bets 3,300.
Locke hoping for some better cards.
And ditches these. Perkins out of the way. Back on Martinez.
The cannon hasn't made a ton of mistakes. Let's see how he handles top pair, weak kicker versus Elke's aggression.
Just calls.
That is a very disappointing flop, dealer.
The worst.
For me, I had a nice little hand there. Oh.
One of my cards.
Translation for Elke's face. Okay.
Turn, ace of hearts, Elke with 2 pair.
Top pair, no longer top pair for the cannon.
Eddie checks it.
Elke's got aces up now and probably really loves his hand, though I'm sure he wouldn't love to see another heart come off.
Elke bets 8,200.
Max likely knows that this would be a good card for Elke to bluff at, and unlike most loose cannons, Max does not back down easily. Reaching for chips.
And Max calls from well behind here, and we're going to see a river.
Elke's got Max in bad shape.
River, 9 of clubs, not anymore. Max makes trips.
I wonder if they have the word Yahtzee in Italian.
He checks it.
Max is taking a shot that Elke will bet at this. His 2 pair are counterfeited.
Elke won't be trapped, he checks. Martinez shows him the winner.
Elke's not running like Elke today. Still, he manages to lose the minimum. Well played, monsieur.
Max Martinez taking down a pot worth over 30,000 bucks. He's running like Elke today. The cannon runs good.
Yep. And that's how a bill becomes law, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how a bill becomes law. Oh.
Non sequitur Schoolhouse Rock reference for the win.
Well, Max won't apologize for putting the bad beat on Elke, whose profit has now dropped to just over 12K.
Elke ranks dead last for the week in both aggression factor and pots won. I would recommend picking up his play and, of course, avoid getting bad beat on the river.
You have to go and make it official. We had him doubting, you know, the ace-high bluff thing, whatever. We had him doubting. Now you have to go re-cement. He's aligned with the Shaolin monks again, kid. He's aligned.
That's not my fault. That's the river.
You know, in France, they call a royal flush a royale with cheese.
Elke folds.
All right.
Phil lock. 8 tray of diamonds. Great double down hand. He raises to 1,200. 10-8 for Perkins. Calls. Max the cannon. Pocket aces.
What a superb spot for a 3-bet. In position, a bet and a call in front of you.
Wow. And he does. Raises to 5,100. Phil quickly out. 4 tray of clubs from Minieri.
Dario's got a hand that's good for snapping aces, but he's out of position.
2 Shaolin monks are on the mat right now, you know?
Looks like we're about to see a slow-motion wire fight up above some trees. I would expect a lot of dusty punches. This is a big re-raise. Dario's out of position, not getting the right price, and he's not closing the action.
Crouching Tiger, massive 4-bet. Makes it 18,100.
Back in my younger days.
You would have folded even faster.
Locke lets it go, as does Perkins.
Now, the great thing about the cannon spot here is there's only one thing he can do that's minus EV, and that's fold. Of course, he can try to get more money in now, but since he's in position, calling would be fine too. All depends on how strong he thinks Dario is.
And this just became a 5-alarm dumpster fire for Dario. Martinez is raised to 37-2.
Much you have left?
Dario had a pretty good idea, just picked a bad spot.
We'll let you count in Italian.
125 and 700.
Dario has to know the cannon means business at this point, but I'm sure he's considering the likelihood of Max folding to a 6th bet. Not bloody likely.
Max would love to see a 6th bet here.
Fold.
Dario folds, and Max is going to take down a nice pot pre-flop.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
That was something, huh, Phil?
It's
That was
scary.
something.
He has come over the top. He's got the last raisin in like every pot he's played.
85%.
So he's either had aces and kings like
Or he's a
17 times, or
The
he's
tape
just,
will show if he's a
out there.
genius on the edge, dancing with danger or surfing the edge of perfection. Something in there. There is a
Shaolin monks in a battle.
The Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Cannon is now close to where he began the evening, and Dario's friskiness drops him to basically even for the week. Elke joins those two above the line, while Perkins still tries to resuscitate his stack.
The loose cannon made a late recovery, and with 2 nights to go, Max still has a shot at the NAPT passport, but he's going to need to keep playing well and running well.
All right, guys, end of the night. Max, it's been a roller coaster week, huh?
Yeah,
You're up a lot.
about 80K.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Are you excited?
Not so much. I just want to win.
If you bust everybody in one hand,
Then that's the only way he's going to be excited. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing great. I have 0 complaints, girl.
Yeah?
What's up?
He's going to give you a lesson, I think. I'm kidding. That's it for tonight, guys. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now. And remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. Good night, everybody.
Join us next time to see if Max's stack echoes throughout eternity on the big game, or will he be fed to the Lions? For Stapes, this is Huff saying so long from Vegas.
We just saw the 2 senseis go to the mat, and Elke believes, and he stated in the middle of that hand that he thinks maybe you're not a Shaolin monk, but maybe he is. Maybe, you know, he's one who's China. We never heard you say any time in China, so it's possible, you know?
You skipped Kung Fu school.
It's true.
That's true.
The preceding program was sponsored by PokerStars.net.